Hello everybody, welcome to episode 18 of my Fabel podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a podcast about knitting, weaving, cross-stitching right now, yarn spinning, basically any fiber yarny craft that I like to do. Because I'm crazy and I need to be doing 10,000 different things, as you will see in this episode. I am filming this a little bit later than I usually do. That is because I am going on a holiday for 2 weeks and I am not sure about when I will be able to podcast next. So I wanted to show you all that I have done before leaving, basically. And I have done quite a few. I also changed the setup. I am now facing my window, which is such a genius idea, isn't it? I wonder if anyone else thought about it to get better lighting. Yes, basically the way I was before, sometimes the light was extremely bad and sometimes I had really harsh shadows because the light was coming from the side. Now it's coming from the front, so I do hope it's a little bit better. However, the background is a bit... you're basically seeing a closet and a door, and to kind of compensate I just hang pretty yarns. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't know, I kind of like it. I have the window open because it is a bit heavy in temperature today, so you might hear some birds chirping, dogs barking, hopefully not too many cars. Yes, I have done quite a few things, quite a few important things in the past week and few days, so I am going to jump right in with some weaving, and I am now going to try to put timestamps in the description so that if you are interested in weaving, you can see where it is, and if you are not, you can jump straight into knitting. I will try to do that in the description below. Yes, weaving. I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused because I'm packing for the holidays and I don't know where my things are. It's just a mess. Weaving. I have finished the big commission that I was working on for 2 months now. It is done, it is sent to its recipient. I hope she will receive it soon and in decent condition. Yes, I'm very happy to have it done. I was a bit late, but it's there. I am going to insert pictures of the finished object. She had me do a few modifications because I sent it to her and she wanted to change a couple of things that you will not see in those pictures because those pictures are, let's say, my version, and then I fixed it to her OCD taste. She just wanted the fringe to be a little bit more geometrical. But yes, finishing this was quite interesting. I had to do a lot of tweaking around and many different things than what I usually have to do because of the scale, but also because it was lots of different yarns intertwined into each other in random organic shapes. I showed you last time, I believe, the before and after pictures of the back, where I just tidied knots and woven in hands when it was possible and needed, and I also had to take care of the edges of the weaving. So from the top I basically rolled it over the dowel and sewed it. I hand sewed it. I could have run it through the sewing machine, but let's say that my ability to handle the sewing machine isn't good enough, that I was confident to do it with a weaving. So I just hand sewn the weave to the dowel, and I also tucked in the bottom and the corners because since the weave was hung quite tightly and shortened at the top, the corners looked a bit flappy. So I tucked them in so that they would look a little bit smoother and that the general shape would be good. Sadly, since the green corner was made of a thicker yarn, it kind of kept flipping backwards toward me, so it looks like the angles is not the same. I tried to fix it as much as I could. When the when the weaving will flatten with time, I do believe that it's going to look much better and much more symmetrical. Yes, so this is one big weaving project off. I plan on doing something for my sister's birthday, which is in the middle of August, so I don't know how I will be able to show you that. I probably will start it once I get back from holidays. It will be like a toiletry pouch, or like a makeup bag for her, probably in shades of purple, burgundy. I still have to look through my weaving stash to figure out what I will make for her, but yeah, besides that, I don't have much weaving plans. I think when autumn will come back, I will be a little bit more inspired to weave myself maybe a big wrap, scarf, something with hand-dyed yarn, like scraps of them. I've been looking at project pages of people on Ravelry that have done such weaving projects, and yeah, it kind of made me want to do it as well, so hopefully my weaving mojo will come back with that. I cannot wait for autumn already. It's just the beginning of July. I do like the summer, it's just that I don't feel like making big heavy things, which is about my entire project plans. So yeah, maybe I should just learn to work with linen. I don't like linen. If you have any good linen blend yarns that you like and that you think can change one's opinion about linen, please do send them to me, because I don't much like cotton because I don't like the way it stays in shape, and I don't like working with linen. So I'm kind of torn, and I've been trying to look at some yarns, and there's a drops one, for example, but I've seen someone on Instagram saying that they absolutely hated it, so it kind of put me off a little bit. Yeah, summer work is not about weaving this year, but yeah, hopefully there will be more weaving content when cooler weather comes back. I'm gonna have a lot of cutting to do because I keep being stupid and saying the wrong words and not... The editing work in this one is going to be heavy, I'm warning you. For crying out loud, knitting section. I have done quite a lot of work. Last week, if you remember, I had a boo-boo, had a problem. I had a feeling a car was going to pass by. I had some pain right here in my left hand that made it quite hard for me to knit. I think I've just knitted a little bit too harsh on bigger yarn. This baby here, I think that is what caused it. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to have much work done, but I let it rest for a couple of days. I went really slowly, I cross-stitched instead of knitting, and now it feels better. So I still have done quite a lot. I'm looking at my whips over there and I'm so excited to talk to you about it. But first, finished objects. And the first one is my stripy socks. So this yarn was by Lothing Yaffle on Etsy, and it's a self-striping yarn. And oh my god, the color is so perfect. 18 episodes before I thought about changing my position to get better light. Good job, Audrey, good job. But yeah, this is exactly what it looks like. It is perfectly true to color. It's blue, brown, purple, and mint, and it's absolutely lovely. I have two. I believe the colorway name was She Sells Seashells. Yes. And I absolutely love it. These are the longest socks I ever did. I do have a bit left. I think I have about 30 grams of something left. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with it. What do you do with leftover self-striping yarn? I did, if I'm looking there, it's because my notes are here, I'm sorry. Ugh. I did an afterthought heel, so look at that. It is absolutely perfect. I really like it. It is super easy. I wasn't that scared. So the idea of cutting my knitting was a bit okay, but when I did it, actually, I was a bit careless. I just cut it without being overly careful, which is something you would expect when you first try an afterthought heel. But it is super easy. I do love the result. I don't mind that. I know some people don't like that line of decrease. I don't mind it. And I think it just looks really good on self-striping. Yes, in case you were wondering, they match. I'm really happy about that. And yeah, basically the hardest thing, and it's not that it's hard, it's just that the place where I wanted to put my heel was like a darker color. So figuring out the side stitches was a bit harder for me. Now that is an easy fixable problem, because I would just need to mark beforehand the two perfect sides and then I will know where to look. But I managed it, and there's no holes. I know some people had holes. The technique that I followed is the Kirby Werby video on YouTube. I will link it in the description. And basically what she does is that when she unravels the hilt position, she leaves a couple of stitches made. So she doesn't unravel the entire 30 stitches of the heel. Yes, because I made 60 stitch socks, so my heel is 30 stitches. And no hole. And weirdly enough, it fits better than the Fish Lips Kiss heel or the short row heels. I feel like I have more ease here on the top of the foot. I don't know why that is. Like I didn't think it through enough to figure out why this doesn't tighten the sock as much as a short row heel does. Because there's no more extra stitches, but I really like them. I cannot wait for winter to wear them. I really like it. I have a few self-striping yarn, and I have some that I need to dye, and that I have some that I ordered for my birthday that are still not here because they were dyed to order. So yes, very pleased with those. I have another finished object, and it's a big one. It is the flax sweater that I knitted for my boyfriend, and here it is. and it looks like there's a really harsh line, but in reality you don't notice it that much. This is a yarn that I hand dyed myself. It's a worsted weight single, and it's a pure wool. And I had 5 different skeins. I did alternate them, but eventually I ended up not having a skein that was as light as the one I started with. So this is why it kind of looks like there's a really big difference here. But when you look at it like that, you don't notice it too much. I really loved the pattern. It is extremely easy to do. So it's the flax sweater. I don't know if I said. It's a flax sweater by Tinkin Knits, and they have a worsted weight version and a light fingering weight version. And I definitely think that I will make one for me and use it as a base pattern to maybe put some cable panels in the center, kind of personalize, customize my sweaters with this one. It is super easy. I highly recommend it for a beginner knitter that will want to work to start making sweaters. It has a garter panel on the sleeves and the shoulders, and yeah, it fits me. It's a little bit oversized on me, which I think is what I need for it to fit my boyfriend. I'm taking this with me on holiday, because I'm going on holiday to my boyfriend's, where he will be able to try it on in the 40 degrees Celsius weather. I will make him wear this to make sure that it fits. But yeah, he says he likes it. I really like it. It was super fun to do. It went super quickly because of the worsted weight. And yeah, it's a really woolly wool. It's not the softest thing on earth, but it's warm and it's going to make a good heavy sweater for him, if it fits him. If it doesn't fit him, maybe I'll fix it. Maybe I'll keep it for me. Who knows? Yes, I'm really happy with the shape that it has, and I cannot wait to experiment with it. And I think it's a good way to start designing, is to have a really good basic sweater. It's worked in the round, and it's a raglan increase at the shoulder seam. There's no shoulder seam since it's raglan. I'm telling myself that the fact that I'm not being really eloquent is because I'm not talking my mother tongue. But then I am not so sure that I wouldn't have the same problem if I was podcasting in French. Because even though all my studies were about talking in public and making complex analysis of stuff in an hour-long speech in French and in English and in bloody Spanish, that I don't know how I could do what I used to do in Spanish 4 years ago, because right now I could barely order food. But anyway, even though that was what I used to do, I guess I've lost a lot of my speaking abilities, and I do hope it's going to be easier with time with this podcast, and I hope that is not bothering you too much, especially if you're an English native person yourself and you must be wondering what is wrong with that person. Why can't she speak properly, and why is there this random word that doesn't have its place in her sentence coming in right now, and why does she puts an S everywhere? Anyway, digressing. Yes, I really like the flax sweater. I highly recommend it, and you might see more of that coming soon from me, with some tweaks with lace, maybe put like a lace band at the hem, or color work. Next I have a half object, and it's sitting here, and it's a sock for my boyfriend as well. Now I only made one because it's the first time that I'm making socks for him, and I'm not so sure if it's going to fit him. I took his measurements and things, but you know, you never know. It's a simple vanilla sock. I did a heel flap and gusset because I wanted it to be as strong as possible on the heel, and to leaving some room here because I think he has a high end step. The yarn is the beautiful 30 Shy Boon Classic by Wool & Boon, and I had this yarn for a while. I had one skein before that I used for a weaving project, and I have a lot of it left, but I wanted, as soon as I saw it, I thought that I wanted to make socks with it for my boyfriend because it's just a beautiful complex brown with bits of ochre and rusty and black. It's absolutely lovely. And so I ordered a second one, and I'm finally using it. And I used some simple Opal sock yarn in black for the heel and the toe. I always find it funny how a heel flap and gusset sock look when you're using a contrasting yarn for the heel. It looks a bit funny. So my boyfriend is a EU size 41 in his shoes. So as far as the foot length goes, it's a little bit, it's too long for me, so it should fit him. And I've done a 60 stitch. I started doing a 64 stitches, but then I was looking at it and I was like, oh, that is massive. So I asked him to measure his ankle and his foot circumference, and yeah, definitely too big. So his foot circumference is slightly bigger than mine. So what I did is that what I would have done for myself is knit 60 stitches on 2mm needles, for example. But what I did is that the leg is done on 2.25mm, and then the foot is done on 2.5, so that it's a little bit bigger. You can see that I don't know if you can see, a little bit, the stitches are a little bit bigger. But yeah, so I only made one so that you can try it out, and if it's good, I'll knit the second one over there because I'm taking the yarn with me. I'm not taking the needles on the plane because I know in the US it works, but in Europe it seems like they're not agreeing with each other whether it's allowed or not to have needles on the plane. So I'm leaving the needles in my luggage, hoping to see it again to the other side. But I'm taking the yarn with me, so if I need to knit the second one, I can do it over there, or if I need to frog this one and redo it, I can do that as well. He's going to watch that episode and tell me to stop with the luggage paranoia. Yes, I am completely paranoid and I don't trust the plane company for a second with my luggage, but I'm trying to be better at it. Anyway, this is all for my knitting finished and half object, which is quite good. And I have 2 work in progress to show you. The first one you've already seen. I'm going to try to take it without clicking the needles. Yes, another advantage of this new setup is that, goodbye ball of yarn, oh, it fell, is that my needles are not going to click on the desk anymore. So this is my Saturate shawl. It's a pattern by Orange Knits, which has a really beautiful name. but I can never remember. Her first name is Mara, I believe. I never remember her name. There were plans, I believe, of putting, you know, in the road, when I don't know the word in English, when the road does that to slow you down. There were plans of putting one just there. It would have been horrible, because, well, it would have been good because it would have prevented them from going super fast, but it would have made a lot more noise. But anyway, they didn't, so cars aren't that noisy. Saturate shawl, look at it. So it's a half pie shawl, even though, yeah, you're supposed to say pie shawl because 2 pies make a circle. It's a half circle shawl, so yeah, this is how I'm supposed to be holding up. It looks beautiful. You know, I don't necessarily look at it because the rows are so long. I have done the last increase, so I now have 325 stitches on it. So it's quite big, and I'm just doing the rows and being really careful about what I'm doing, and I'm never actually looking at it, but it's beautiful. Look at it. Oh, I really like it. So it's half circle shawl, which has a border and then fringe in the end, and I can't wait to do that. And an I-cord edge, which is my first time doing such a thing, and it's going okay. I can't wait to see how it's going to look when I'm going to block it. So my yarns, I'm knitting it in singles yarn. This is hedgehog fiber in the teacup colorway, which faded into hedgehog fibers Heyday, which faded into a one-of-a-kind skein made by Black Elephant, which is very similar to Heyday, except it's a grey base instead of a cream. And I have now started to incorporate my 4th color, which is another one-of-a-kind made by Black Elephant, and it's this one, which is yellow, some really interesting plum, pink and blues. And yes, so what's really interesting about this pattern and about a lot of pattern by Orange Knit, including socks, is her fading technique. Now, you know how in the So Faded sweater, in the Find Your Fade, you're just striping. You're just striping the color with one another. But what Orange Knits has done is that she made it so she made a random pattern basically for you to incorporate the color, the second color, to the first one slowly. And sometimes you end up knitting twice on the same side. So on this you're purling, so that the colors are really transitioning in a really beautiful way. Like you cannot tell. It's really smooth. I absolutely love it. I love how it looks. It's quite crazy colored, to be honest. It's going to be quite a funny thing to wear, but at the same time it's quite light, so it doesn't have a rainbow effect to me. And it has those beautiful eyelets. Speaking about the eyelets, let me see if I can find it, because I can never tell on which side it is. Is it this side? Yes, it is. So during the last increase, it's not that it's complicated, it's just that you have to keep track of what you're doing to make sure that you're not messing up. Orange Knit has the pattern broken down row by row, which is really good. It seems a bit tedious at first, but it's it's actually really keeping me going, because I'm like, okay, I've done this row, this row, this row, and there's nothing complicated yet, because I'm not understanding the border and the arc part yet, but I will see when I get to that. But for the last increase, I don't know what I did, but basically it's the second eyelet range from the start that was off-centered, and the other ones were fine. So, because you know, when I noticed it, I was like, oh my god, because if one is off-centered, obviously all the other ones should be, and they weren't. So, okay. And so it was this one that was off-centered. You see, this one was a bit nick. No, it was actually like this. And you see, it's wrong. So I tried to fix it. Actually, I showed it to you wrongly. Like, it was like this, and it should be like this. I tried to fix it. I went back and tried to redo the yarn over and the decrease, and I made it look okay. You can still see the previous eyelet here, but I figured when blocking it's gonna be okay. But then I come back to the next eyelet, which is a simple eyelet row without any increases. Do you see? It's not in the same spot, but it's not as off as the previous one was. So it still looks okay, and I believe that when I'm going to block it, this line will look good. It's just that hole which is annoying me, but I'll block it. I'll like take a strand and pin it together so that it stays quite close, and let the row of eyelets look okay. Was a bit bummed by it, but then I figured when you look at it overall, yeah, you don't notice it that much, and I really don't have the face to go back like 20 rows for 300 stitches and fix everything. I think what I did is that on one side I did a decrease that shouldn't have been done, so that it kind of offset the thing, but just this one thing and not the entire shawl. But I mean, it's so I'm gonna fix it when blocking. I need to stop worrying about it. So yeah, I am now working into my fourth color, and then I will put the fifth one, and it's already quite big. So it's really nice to be doing a different shape for a shawl. I usually do asymmetrical triangles or normal triangles. Normal triangles, what's a normal triangle? But so this is the first time that I'm doing this kind of half circle with a flat top, and I'm really curious to see how it blocks out and how I'm going to be able to wear it later on. I'm going into yellow, and let me show you my last color. The last color that I'm going to use for this shawl is this. So it's going to go like this. This is another one-of-a-kind skein made by Black Elephant, and it's this golden yellow with bits of orange and purples. And I like golden yellow. I really think it's a beautiful color, but thing is, with my complexion, sometimes yellow isn't the best. This is alright. It's not as bad as if I was blonde or a real light redhead, but sometimes it's bad. So I really like the shawl because I am able to use such a color, but considering the shape, it's going to be quite far away from my face, so it's good. It is good. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish. I'm obviously not taking it with me on holiday, so I thought planes were on strike. Yes, because obviously when I'm going on holidays, there's a strike in the plane workers. I'm not taking it with me on holiday. I will have to get back to it after that, but in August I am going to start working, so I will have less time to knit. So yeah, I hope it won't take me too long to finish it, because I do have about a gazillion other shawls to make. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Are you tired of the fades yet? I know some people are. I do want to start knitting a lot of different things like color work, cables, heavy lace, and those are my plans next. So I think you might not see a lot of pretty fading into speckled hand-dyed colorways in a while after that, but I still had one project to make, and it is the So Faded sweater. Ever since I've started to look at hand-dyed yarns and I have seen the Find Your Fade crazy thing, I wanted a sweater using the same technique. So I was going to take a simple sweater pattern like the flaxlight, for example, and do it like that. But then I saw that Andrea Maury was working on a design specifically for it. So obviously. And it was a complete stalker because I managed to get the pattern on Ravelry before she announced that it was live on Instagram, because I was just stalking her Ravelry page. So yes, I have started my So Faded sweater, and here it is. When did I start it? I think I started it earlier this week, and I've already done quite a lot of it. Let me try to show it to you properly. I've already separated the sleeves and everything, and I am now working on the body. So, oh, it looks so nice. It looks so nice. Yeah, like I said when I was doing my flax sweater, I was a bit tired of endless stockinette, but I still had that one to do, so I figured I would throw that fingering stockinette sweater now that it's summer and that I'm going to work and I'm going to be more busy, so that I can leave the more complex, heavy sweaters for the autumn. And yeah, I really like the garter shoulder. In this case, it's just the shoulders, so it's gonna be stockinette starting from that. But yeah, I have done the neckband already because my first two colors I was playing Yarn Chicken with. I'm basically reusing colors from my Find Your Fade, not exactly the same, but 4 out of 5 skeins of this sweater are leftovers from my Find Your Fade, which leaves quite a lot of yarn. And so does the Saturate roll, so I'm gonna have a ton of singles from the Saturate roll, and I don't quite know what to do with it. I might do a Free Your Fade. Oh no, I've seen Casapinka, is that her Ravelry name? The girl that did the Memory of a Goldfish shawl. She has another shawl that uses 5 colors, and it's like blending them together as well, so it's a wrap. I think I might do that. It's in my queue. My Ravelry queue is it's basically a complete nightmare because it's just sweaters and massive shawls, and I have the yarn for them, and I just need time to knit instead of going to work and eat and sleep. So I didn't have a lot of these first two skeins left. This is Bedazzle by Wool & Boon, and I really didn't have a lot. I had like 30 grams, so I knitted as much as I thought I could, and then I straight up did the neckband for it. And can I just say, I usually really don't like picking up stitches for neckband or thing, but this went so well. It looks super neat. It's not blocked yet, but you can still see how even it is distributed. And I had like the exact number, because she tells you to pick up that many stitches for the back, that many stitches on the shoulder. And basically, if I picked up every time I saw a distinctive stitch, it was good. And I know that's how a good pattern is supposed to work, but that was never the case for me before. So congrats Andrea on that one. Did I even say So Faded by Andrea Maury? I'm so all over the place, I don't even know what I'm saying and what I'm forgetting. So yes, I'm really happy about the neckband, and I was able to do a little bit more than 2 centimeters of it, and it looks nice and neat. So this Bedazzle faded into Tiger Lily by Kindred Red, and that as well, I didn't have a lot. I wanted to separate the sleeves with it, so I must have like a little bit less than 10 grams left, and I will have to stripe just 5 rows on each side, so I think I will have enough left of it. And then Tiger Lily faded into, this is, looks ugly, my cake. This is Afternoon Tea by Knit Cosmic Strings, and beautiful. I'm gonna have enough left of it to make a pair of socks, which I'm really happy about, and it's probably going to be the speckled space socks, speckled, I don't know which order that is, but yes. So I am knitting about 11 centimeters each of for each color. So this is how far I have gone with Afternoon Tea, and I really like how it looks. What do you think? It's going to be quite a precious sweater. It's definitely not an everyday look. I really like the shoulders. Haven't tried it on yet, but I'm assuming it's okay. I'm knitting the second size, the 34-inch, and I have gauge, even though I didn't swatch. Maybe I will swatch when a sweater have a particular construction or a stitch that is specific, but I'm so lazy. I know it's bad. I know you should swatch. You should swatch always. Don't do like me. But the thing is, my body shape is quite forgiving, so I can put off something that is not really fitted, so to say. I'm okay with a wide range of types of fitting. If it's oversized, good. If it's fitted and with negative ease, it's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's okay, especially if it's a normal long sweater like this is. So I know I'm taking risks, but so far so good. And I'm getting gauge anyway. I'm getting gauge anyway. Why do you even pronounce that gauge? Is that really how you're supposed to pronounce it? Anyway, so we'll see when this bites me back, but so far I'm lucky. It's like 25 stitches per 10 centimeters, and that's what I'm getting. So yes, let me show you my next colors. So afternoon tea is going to go into Space Cowboy by Wool & Boon, and then my last skein is Raven by Made by Black Elephant. So we're going into dark colors, which is instantly what I liked when I was planning for that sweater. I want to knit on this. Basically it's just going to be stockinette now and the sleeves, so I do think it won't take me too long to finish it. And it looks a bit crazy. It's typically the type of garment that anyone who is not a knitter would look at and be like, what is that? But I mean, come on, the colors. Oh yes, one thing. In the pattern, when you are fading your colors, she should suggest that you do stripes 2 by 2. I don't quite know why. I wanted to take advantage of the fact that you're knitting in a round, so I did 1 row of each for 10 rows, which is what she says, and well, I believe it worked better, because for example, between Bedazzle and Tiger Lily, I would have had quite pronounced stripes if I would have done 2 by 2, and I really didn't want that. I've seen a lot of faded sweaters that are like between solid colors that are quite different, and they're striping a lot, and I didn't want mine to stripe. I really want to try to have a smooth look, which is so far what I'm getting, so I'm really happy. Just look at it. I would like it to have no ease, like be plain, perfectly fitted, and yeah, I think I'm good. Maybe I will have a little bit of negative ease. It's gonna be a little bit bigger when it's blocked, so I am loving it. Really nice. Also really easy patterns. I must say I prefer the raglan increases on this one rather than on the flax sweater. I don't know why, maybe it's probably because it was my second time doing raglan shaped sweater and I was a little bit more aware of what I was doing. The increases are make one left and right, and I just cannot really see the difference between the two, so I have, because I've read I want to do colorwork mittens as well, a lot of them, for the winter, and I have a pattern by Skein Knits, which is Ellie, which has a podcast on YouTube, and she made like kind of a basic Selbu mittens pattern, and she is the first person explaining make one right and make one left in a way that makes me understand the difference and what I'm supposed to do with it. Because if you tell me that make one right, you're supposed to knit through the front loop, now to me that makes a hole. So I didn't understand really that you were supposed to twist the stitch when you're lifting the thing. I didn't get that was what you're supposed to do. So now I do. But in this, it doesn't bother me too much. You don't see that it's symmetrical. So yeah, maybe my eye isn't trained. It's probably not trained enough to see the difference between different leaning increases. I'm hoping that will change with more lace experience. But yeah, guys, this is it for the knitting content. I'm just quickly going to show you what I'm going to do on holidays. Like I said, I will fix or finish my pair of dirty chai socks for my boyfriend, so you might not see those finished. I will take pictures of it, obviously, and talk to you about it whenever I can podcast. But I'm also taking these quality label. It's okay. I really like Drops yarn, especially Drops Fabel, which is their sock yarn, and this is a self-patterning yarn, and I believe it's called Blue Lagoon. I believe it's called Lagoon. It's the color 162, and it's this one. So it's one of those stripe pattern yarn, you know. I figured I would take that and make simple vanilla socks. You know, whenever, if we're watching a movie over there or something, and yes, do that. Do I have a matching dye lot? Yes, I do. And I'm taking the 2, even though I think I might only need 1 to have decent sized socks. But I'm taking the 2 because maybe I want to make extra long socks. And I'll probably make a fishy kiss heel, or an afterthought one. I'll see, depending on how the pattern goes and the stripes. I'll see if I really want it to be neat, or if I can pop in a fishy kiss heel or a German short row. I might do an afterthought again because I really liked doing it, and yeah, so this is what I will be making for my holidays. I have another Drops Fable patterning yarn like this, but this one is summery, so I have a strand of hair that's like, there it is. Hair. So the last bit of crafty work that I have to show you this week is my cross stitch, and I'm probably sick of seeing it. There's nothing much to say about cross stitch when you're not actually starting or finishing a project. But this week you can see quite a difference. So this is a kit that I bought from The World in Stitches on Etsy. She also sells the pattern alone. It's the Folk Foxes, and she has a rooster version that is beautiful as well. But I picked the fox because foxes are my favorite animal. Like you say, you have a favorite animal, like you have a favorite flavor of ice cream, but they are. I really like foxes, and you can see that I have decided to make all the black now. So I've started doing the round all around and the bits and pieces here. And the first fox is completely finished, so you can admire it in all its glory. I really like doing it. It's really soothing. It's a simple technique. It's really completely mindless. You're just following. It's like paint by numbers, you know, and I really liked that when I was a kid. And yeah, I really enjoy it. My back. I know that, yeah, basically cross stitch is the easiest thing on earth. There's nothing you can do wrong besides not doing your stitches in the same direction, but that kind of is, I mean, that kind of seemed logic to me, to not mess them up, so I don't know why you wouldn't do that from the start. But well, unless you want to give a really fuzzy look, which can be cute. But what comes with practice and knowledge about cross stitch, I guess, is fixing this. It's okay. So I am not carrying my thread across a lot more than 2 stitches because I don't want to waste thread because it came in the kit, and even though I believe that it's quite generous, for example, I have done all of the white, you can't see, but here is white, 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 white. I have done all of the white of the pattern and I still have a lot of the floss left. So I believe she's quite generous with the quantity she sends you. So yeah, I really like it. And I'm gonna slowly get it done because I have other cross stitch plans. Can I just say, stitching with a wooden hoop is a nightmare. It's not holding the fabric tight enough, so I constantly have to push it back. It's okay though, I don't mind it. It's Ida, so it's quite stiff. So even if it's a bit loosey-goosey, it's fine. It's really pretty. It is really pretty. I am forever impressed at color management. It's not my thing. Like, you know, making really good gradients or shades. People that are, for example, painting landscapes or seascapes. I am always impressed at that because whenever I try to do that and I try to have, you know, the subtle nuances and pick the right shade of blue and then the one that is slightly different, I just can't. I end up making patches of really obvious different colors. I guess I could call that a style, but it means I'm always impressed when people pick colors that make, from the distance, such a smooth look. That is something that I cannot do, and that I really appreciate when I'm following someone's pattern or looking at someone's art. It's nice. It is really nice. I really like doing it. So I thought I could maybe show you the yarn that's here. Yeah, you know what, let's do this. This will be a new section. It will be like what's hanging on my wall to look pretty. What's hanging on my wall to look pretty. Anyway, let me pick them up. So this is not like a haul or a stash enhancement thing, but it will still allow me to show you some of the yarn that's in my stash and show you pretty yarns, even though I bought it a long time ago, because now I'm broke because I bought it. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try it. Like, I don't have an enormous amount of different yarns. Or maybe I could do it with fiber as well, or previous finished objects. Yeah, like I could hang a shawl and at the end of the episode say, hey, what's hanging there to look pretty? Was that what I said? What's hanging there to look pretty? Okay, that's gonna be the catchphrase. So, what was hanging there to look pretty was this. This is one of my favorite yarn that I have in stash. And I want socks out of it, but I'm not sure what socks. I would like them to be patterned socks, but I need to find a pattern that will really complement it. Or just vanilla, but it feels kind of sad making vanilla socks now if they're not striping. This is made by Black Elephant. It's her not her first label, but her previous label. Now she has a really pretty white one with confetti thing. And this is her sock base, so it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's the Maui colorway. Now Petra, which is the dyer behind, made by Black Elephant, is like super busy Wonder Woman. So speaking of Wonder Woman, like not in my brain for in 5 minutes. Petra is super busy, so I haven't seen her dye sock yarn in a while, but I believe if you'd ask her for a custom order, she would You should ask her. That's bad. No more buying yarn. Pretty, pretty. So it's this bright green, pink, and turquoise, and black speckles, and it's glorious. I'm going to look for a sock, a really precious sock pattern to make this with. I will. Now, what was hanging there to look pretty? Number 2 was this, and this is Dye for Knitting, which is US-based dyer. I believe his name is Ross. Now, you often see him on Instagram posting absolutely gorgeous pictures of his yarn, and that's how I found him. And I picked 4 skeins like a couple of months ago, and I picked this one. So it's his Poseidon sock. All of his sock bases have Greek gods' names. This is the Poseidon sock. Poseidon. I don't know why I'm trying to say it in an American accent, but never mind. 75-25% as well. Spiroche Merino nylon, and the colorway is Paradise. And it's gorgeous. Now this I have picked with another skein of his and some lace to knit the. I have to find the pattern name for it. God, planning. That wasn't planned. I just picked up the thing from my wall. What's it? What is it called? Did I even buy it? Yeah, yes, the Pointe Shawl. The Pointe Shawl, which is a pattern by it's inspired by ballet. Oh, I need to stop doing that. By ballet. It's a French word. You're French. Say it properly. So it's the ballet collection by Julie Dubreux, and it's the Pointe Shawl. I believe you would pronounce it pointed, because if I say pointe, you're not good. Look in the description. I'll link it. And it's a gorgeous brioche and garter, lacy, really soft looking shawl, and it requires 2 hand-dyed, 2 variegated colorways and 1 lace, so this will be part of it. And the last skein that I have is a very precious one. It's by Yarn Design, and so it's in a sock base. Yeah, 75-25 as well, and it's in the Mars meet Venus colorway. Really Greek mythology, like there's Maui, which is like kind of has nothing to do with that. I just mean that it's like folklore-ish thing. Poseidon and Mars and Venus. And if you don't know, I believe her name is Lorelei, not sure, but the dyer behind Yarn Designs had to do a break a couple of months ago. She stopped dyeing, and it seemed like she was going forever and ever. So I have another skein by her, but this is my favorite. But she started dyeing again. I've seen that she's made a few updates in her Etsy shop, which is really nice. But this is pre-break skein of hers, so it's really precious, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Obviously, it has to be socks. You know, unless I find a very brilliant shawl pattern with a solid to complement it. But what kind of solid can you put with that? This needs to be glorious on its own. But again, I would need really precious sock patterns for those. Yeah, so this was what's hanging there to look pretty. I have a ton of projects. My Ravelry nickname is written down below. If you care to have a look at I think you can see my queue. Can you? Can you see somebody else's queue on Ravelry? Can you? Yes, you can. You can see somebody else's queue on Ravelry. You can totally stalk people. So, if you want to stalk me, you will see my queue. And you will understand my problem. I have about a gazillion projects there, and it's not even all of them, because if I already have the pattern, or if it's a free pattern, it's not in my queue. So for example, some sock pattern that I want to make are not there, and I believe I didn't even put the Wonder Woman shawl. Yes, I did put it there. I have 43 projects on my Ravelry queue. Anyway, I think you have seen it because it's all over Instagram. It's the Wonder Woman shawl by Carissa Browning. It's a gorgeous pattern with the Wonder Woman logo. And she knitted this obviously in red and gold. But as soon as I've seen it, and I've seen it on Reddit first, I thought, I want that, but I don't want it in red and gold. I want it in grey and purple. So I have some drops flora in those colors that I think will look gorgeous together. And I think this will be my next cast on, because I'm a bit tired of always being late, you know? There's always a hype on a pattern and I'm like, oh yes, I want to do that. And then I end up doing it 3 months later when everybody has forgotten about it, because I had tons of things already on the plans. Like for example, the Starting Point by Yuhi Locatelli. I didn't do the mystery knit along because I don't quite like mystery knit alongs. But now that I see the finished object, I want to do it. So I have the yarn to do the Starting Point. But now nobody cares about it because everybody has knitted it already. Anyway. So I don't want to do that with the Wonder Woman shawl. I want to be in the right spot and in the heat of the moment for it. So I've seen a lot of people do it in red and gold, and yeah, I think it's beautiful. I just think that it won't be super wearable. I don't want it to look like it's a costume, you know? I want it to look like it's a normal shawl, an everyday thing that you're wearing, and then when you actually look at it and you notice the W, like, oh, that's Wonder Woman. That's what I want it to look like. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry, in case you don't know. And seriously, you're crazy. She should totally have charged for it, because it's glorious, it's a great idea. Yeah, I totally think she should charge for it. I see that she's making a crochet version, so for all of you crocheters, you will also be able to have your very own Wonder Woman shawl. And yeah, hopefully next time you'll see me, I'll have this started. And yes, I'm going on my summer break then. I might pop in an episode during August. I don't know when. That is, if I have enough things to show, but I think I will, because I will be working supposedly in the afternoon, so only in the afternoon, but spread on 6 days, so it's still a full-time job. But I will still have time to do some knitting. I will be slower, but I will still do it. So there will be 2 weeks without an episode. Maybe 3 or 4, I don't know. I might be able to do one in the middle of August. I'll try. In the meantime, you can still see me on Instagram. I'll talk about what I'm doing there, if you care to have a look. And yes. Oh, that was... I don't think I said that as much as I did last week. Yes. Now it's starting again. Oh god. I hope I will be able to return to a regular podcast sorry. It's like a new video effect. You know, I'm being inventive and pushing creativity by making shaky podcasts. I hope I will be able to come back to a regular filming schedule in September, mid-September. I will see. Have a lovely time, whether you're going on holidays or not, whether it's summer and you enjoy it, whether you're in the southern hemisphere and it's winter and you're tired of everybody in the north complaining about how hot it is. Have a lovely time. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on Instagram or sometime in August, I hope. Yes, have a lovely time and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.